Shalom Yasharala, this is Yawanathan with the Men of Valor Camp. I just wanted to touch on a few things that I've went over or, conversed with people over the past week. And people really are confused out there. And mainly because they're listening to all types of crazy ass doctrines. But mainly what they're doing is they're listening to science, and they're saying everything needs to be proven scientifically, and like Big Bang, and for instance, what was this guy talking, like carbon dating, like things of that nature. A lot of stuff that is really outside of the realms of the truth. I mean, yes, science does mean to know, and a lot of it is trial and error. But when it boils down to it, so a fucking Big Bang, for instance, created a perfect world. Come on, really? Like, there's no way in hell. But people will say, for instance, the scriptures are tampered with, but about a white man or something like that. That's a white man's book. But the science is kind of the same thing. So it's like you believe one but not the other, although the scriptures isn't a white man's book, or wasn't tampered with, it was translated. And a lot of people get that confused also. So there's a difference between translating something and actually tampering something. So tampering, would be like, let me change this to what I want it to mean. Translating is, hey, I'm going to take it from this language and put it into this language, which would just tell you that you need to go back into the other language that it was originally in. But mainly, with the science thing, it's a lot of people just like, well, Adam couldn't have been this. It's like, well, where did this person come from? It's just a lot of nonsense. Like, for instance, we were having a discussion where it was brought up that Adam was a society, which is true. It was a nation of people, pretty much. And Adam, although he was the first created, there were the Adamites. And, just for all this logic, because he's saying that the Bible, doesn't make any sense in his lies, but for all this logic, all right, if Adam wasn't the only person, and we're proving this because, people just read the scriptures wrong, when Cain killed Abel, where did Cain's wife come from? That just tells you that there was more than one people. There was more than just Adam and his wife there, in the beginning. So, again, people think that scientifically proving something, is facts, and it's not. But I say that to say this, and I do avoid my babbling, which is a good segue, actually. But, okay, so this is Timothy 6:20. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning their faith." Actually, no, that's not necessary. But the main point was, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called." And the reason why, that's important is because a lot of people are going to come at you with, hey, this, and it's going to make, some of it's going to actually make sense, but hey, no, if you go back 1,000 years or 50 million years and, just nonsense, it can really sound enticing and can really confuse you. So, and especially for brothers, that's younger, even myself included, because I don't know everything. But, just avoid that. Because at the end of the day, we will try to filter everything. We'll filter everything through the scriptures, but at the end of the day, it has to make sense. And some of that shit just doesn't make sense. Like, how does that make sense? Bible is a history book. People just say it's like a fairy tale. It's not. And also, just, the segue off of that, since we were talking about vanity to an extent, I also wanted to just touch on, the Christmas spirit and, how, pretty much people are all into this right now, which is expected. You know how Jake is. But pretty much my thoughts on it is, well, not even my thoughts. All right, so we're looking at the prophet Jeremiah. And Jeremiah, we all know, is an Old Testament prophet. So for the people that celebrate Christmas in honor of Christ, this is what Jeremiah 10 says. "Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them." So Again, it's just telling us to learn not the way of the heathen, so don't follow their customs. And it actually goes into that. So that was a good segue also. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of a workman with the axe. So you're cutting a tree out the forest to do what with it? They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, and that it move not. So pretty much that's what happens with a Christmas tree. So that's telling you not to not to follow the ways of the heathens right there. And pretty much that's what, that's what's going on with Christmas trees. That's what's going on there, right there. I'll go a little further though. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must not be born. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them. They cannot do evil. Neither is it in them to do good. For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great. O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in thy might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to do doth appertain, for as much as among all the wise men of the nations in their kingdom, there is none like unto thee. But they are all brutish and foolish, and the stock is doctrine of vanities. And that was actually the point. So the stock is doctrine of vanities. So what we're doing right now is just vanity, as far as celebrating Christmas and all that stuff like that. Now, just to get back onto the topic of Jesus, who was really named Yahushua, if Jeremiah is talking about people doing this in the Old Testament and Jesus isn't here yet, then why are we celebrating Christmas and putting trees in the household in the name of Christ, and he wasn't even here yet? So that just tells you that that's an old vain custom. He wasn't even here yet. So how does that have anything to do with Christ? It has nothing to do with him. But this is just the world we live in. But I just wanted to bring those 2 points out. If I was babbling a little bit in the earlier beginning, trying to get my point across and my thoughts out, Salakia. But hopefully someone learned something, or was just at least just considered, or maybe was a catalyst for somebody to do something more with. Other than that, shalom. All praises due to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.